Hey guys, what is going on? Today I thought I would do something a little bit different because I've made videos on my 2021 Fatboy and I've talked about how much I love the bike, which I do, but today we're going to talk about the top 5 things ranked in no particular order that I do not like about that bike. So let's let the bitching begin. Now the first thing I'm going to complain about is cleaning these wheels. Now I am a guy who does not take a pressure washer to his bike. I do basically everything by hand, more or less. And the issue I have is with these cutouts. Now I'm sure there's a reason for them. However, as you can see, they're pretty dirty, but they are a pain in the ass to get clean. All this stuff just sticks right to it, and it is a pain. Also, if you come around to the back of the bike, it is also not fun trying to get in there and clean all those. They are a pain in the ass. You're moving the bike backwards and forwards. You can't fit your hand all the way in there. It's a pain in the ass. Another issue I have with this bike is the floating rotor. And I've made videos on this in the past, and so have others on the internet. These rotors, they clunk. And depending on who you ask, they should, they shouldn't. I don't know. It's kind of hard to hold the camera at the same time, but when you hit the front brakes, you're going to hear that clunk. Now, having said that, it's more of a sound, it's more of an annoyance that way, but I haven't had any actual problems with the brakes, so let's just put that out there. They work fine. It's just the annoyance of that clunk whenever you use the front brakes. Now, as we come to the engine, you will see that we have 2 more spark plugs in the M8 than you had in previous engines. So you got 4 spark plugs altogether, which is fine. I have no issue with that. The problem is where they're located. And you can see you've got one near the back of the tank, one near the front, but they're right underneath. So good luck getting those out. Other than the extra cost, a couple more spark plugs would be. If you decide to take this to a dealership, you know, a 10-minute change, I'm sure they're going to bill you at least an hour just to change spark plugs, which is kind of ridiculous. If you're going to do this yourself, then you're going to have the fun of taking off the gas tank. It's just, I guess, you know, maybe it needed to be done. That's fine, but it just looks like a whole lot of hassle. And that's my main concern with that, the time it's going to take to do it or the price it's going to cost to have it done. Now, another issue I have is where the transmission oil is filled, where the dipstick is. And it's way back down under there. If you can even see it, if I can get a good picture of it, it's kind of hard. It's right down there. Now, I'm not sure why they put it all the way back in there. You've got this right in front. You've got this right in front. I don't know why. Maybe they couldn't put just a spout, just like you have with your oil dipstick. Why they couldn't put it in maybe a little bit different place, I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a reason to it. And I understand you're not going to be changing your transmission oil as much or checking it as much as the engine oil, but I think they could have come up with something that was a little more user-friendly than that. Now, the last thing I'm going to complain about is something that the bike doesn't have. Actually, 2 things it doesn't have that I think should come standard with this bike. And one is cruise control, and the other is a windshield. And I think this bike should come with both. And to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure why it doesn't come with both. Perhaps it's because it's a quote-unquote cruiser and not a tourer. But I can tell you, I've spent lots of time in the saddle of Fatboys. I've driven on trips halfway across Canada, and I've spent 8 to 10 hours in the saddle. And this can be a touring bike. For that matter, so can a Sportster if you set it up right. Now, I see no reason why, if you're going to pay a premium price for this bike, like $30,000 Canadian, why Harley can't throw in a windshield and put some cruise control on it to make it a little bit more comfortable ride. To me, that's just a given, and I don't understand why Harley would do that. You could look at a Road King, which is actually slightly cheaper, basically probably because it has a 107 rather than the 114. But you get that bike for a little bit cheaper, and you've got a windshield. You've got an engine guard. It also comes with saddlebags. All that for less the price. And I have no idea why Harley just can't put that on a Fatboy. Most people I know, or pretty much everybody I know, that rides any highway miles is going to put on a windshield. And it's a must, in my opinion. So there you have it. That was my top 5 things I don't like about the 2021 Fatboy. Now, having said that, there's a few things that I could have said, I suppose, but they were things like, for example, they did away with the hydraulic clutch for the 2021 models. Also, using the Pro Street tuner to keep your warranty valid. I don't like that either, or really where the battery is, just based on how much of a pain in the butt it would be to remove it. But the reason I didn't say those specific things is because they're not specific to the Fatboy model. They are specific to Harley Davidson models in general. And things like the tuner, which I've done a whole video on, that is an issue that Harley can't really control. Basically, the emissions police have them by the balls, so there's nothing they can really do about that part. Now, having said all that, I do have to reiterate that I really do love that bike. I really love that bike. I love what they did with it. But nothing's perfect. Everybody's going to have complaints, but that's the way it goes. But I do know there's some people out there that watch this channel that have new Fatboys, and I'm interested to know if they have any issues other than maybe the front rotor I've heard from a few people about. But I'm wondering if they have any other issues, any other complaints, or something they don't absolutely love about their 2021 Fatboy, or even the new styling of the Fatboys, basically the 2017 or 18 on. I'd be interested to see that. So if anybody wants to talk about that, just leave them in the comments. Other than that, that's it for today. So until I see you guys next time, take it easy. See you later.